Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Taylor, co-owner of Vegan Proteins Online Coaching, and we are well into my favorite season of the year, which is spooky season, Halloween. And I like to put out a sort of Halloween-y recipe every year, and this year we're doing pizza. So you can see I'm rocking my Compassion Co. Only Zombies Eat Their Friends shirt, which I absolutely love. And like I said, today we're making a pizza. It's a high protein, high fiber pizza. And this is actually not my recipe. This is a recipe that I'm making for the first time right here from Mary's Test Kitchen, which is an outstanding cooking channel venue where they explore all sorts of different techniques that I've found to be really interesting and I've learned a lot from over the years. Now, I have made a high protein pizza crust on this channel before with Giacomo, but this one is different because it's really high in fiber because we're gonna be using Anthony's organic oat fiber powder, which, you know, each serving, which is only a teaspoon, has 4 grams of carbs, but all 4 of those grams of carbs are coming from fiber. So for those of you who count net carbs out there, which we don't have our clients do, but I know a lot of folks do, this would be 0 grams of net carbs. But I think fiber is about as close to a magical macronutrient as we can possibly get. So I'm excited to try this, and we're gonna put a Halloween twist on the topping. So if you wanna try that at home, you can do that as well. Okay, so I am using 350 mils of hot water, and I'm using my thermometer. It's 110 degrees. I'm gonna pour it into my mixer. And I am also gonna add 7 grams of yeast and 7 grams of maple syrup. You could also use sugar. And I'm just gonna give that a quick little stir. And I'm gonna let this sit for 5 minutes. I'm looking for it to get a bit foamy on the top. It's called blooming, and that's what I'm looking for. If that doesn't happen, your water was either too hot or too cold, or your yeast is dead. All right, the recipe doesn't say to do this, but I've worked with vital wheat gluten many times before, and I think it's a good idea. So I am gonna take 100 grams of this oat fiber, and I'm gonna combine the dry ingredients before I dump them into the yeast mixture. 100 grams of ground flaxseed. They said golden flaxseed, but I didn't have that, so I'm just using what I had. And 175 grams of vital wheat gluten. And then I have a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of basil, and 7 grams of salt. And I'm just gonna whisk that together quickly. I find that if you dump vital wheat gluten into the mixer once other stuff is in there, sometimes it just forms a lump. So hopefully this will prevent that from happening. Now I'm using the dough hook here. And the reason I'm using the mixer is because once this is in, I'm gonna put this on speed 3 and mix it for 8 minutes. Basically, this hook is going to knead it for 8 minutes. You could do this by hand, but it's a lot of kneading, and vital wheat gluten can be a little tricky to work with. So 8 minutes, starting now. Okay, 8 minutes. So our next step is that, like most things with yeast, we're going to have to let it rest. So I'm gonna take it out, form it into a ball. It's a little sticky, but there's no oil in it at all, so that makes sense to me. I'm gonna cut this in half. I could weigh it if I wanted to be really precise, but I'm not going to. Okay. Form this into a nice little ball. I gotta say, it feels much more manageable than a lot of my flour gluten baked goods that I normally make. Okay, I'm going to put this on these, cover them, and let them rest for 90 minutes. While that is resting, and before the light changes, because it likely will be different in 90 minutes, I'm gonna show you one of the more fun parts of our spooky twist. We are gonna be making little skulls out of mushrooms and little spiders out of olives. And you don't have to do this part, you can just make it however you want, but I am going to fully partake in the fun that is Halloween, and I will get you a close-up of how we are gonna make the mushrooms. So I have all of our washed mushrooms here. And first I'm gonna start by just cutting them in half and laying them face down. And I want ones that have a stem. What I really like about these is because all the mushrooms are different, all of the skulls are gonna look different. Let's start with these. And I'm gonna be using a box cutter for part of it, a new box cutter. And I have these reusable straws. I'm gonna be using this end of it. I'm pushing it in and kind of flicking it so that we get something like little eye sockets there. And then I'm gonna take this and make a little nose. Make some teeth at the bottom. So I'm just scraping out some teeth from the bottom. I think he's pretty creepy looking. And I am gonna do that to as many mushrooms as I think will fit on the pizza. One tooth. We love it. Ooh, this one might be my favorite so far. Those look pretty good. Hi, Zand. So I thought I was filming and I wasn't. Took some olives. If you've never did that as a kid, I feel sorry for you. And I cut a bunch of them in half to make spider bodies. Cut little strips to make spidery legs and little tiny pieces to make their heads. And when I'm chopping the pizza, I will be doing that. How cool. All right. So these have rested for 90 minutes and they puffed up quite a bit. So now I am going to kind of roll them out. I'm probably gonna use a combination of a rolling pan and my hands. And I'm just gonna make one of these and I'm gonna freeze the other one so we can have it another night. Okay, so again, there's no oil in this at all, so I am going to spray my silicone. Thank you to the commenter who helped me with that word. And I'm going to try to press this out until it's about 1/4 of an inch thick. And this is where gluten is particularly tricky to work with. So it may very well need to rest a fair bit. And that's okay, we'll give it lots of breaks. The more that it rests, the more that gluten is going to relax, and then we're gonna be able to manipulate it a bit better. This may take me a few minutes, and I've also started the oven preheating up to 400 degrees. So when you feel it starting to resist, like an elastic that's coming back, that's when you wanna give it a few minutes to rest. It's not doing that too bad right now. It will eventually though, depends on how thin I'm able to get it. And it says to get it to about 1/4 of an inch thick. I feel like that's gonna be challenging. Again, this is the #1 downside to working with gluten in my experience, Vital Wheat gluten specifically, because lots of things have gluten in them, but Vital Wheat gluten is like an exaggerated version of all of those things. Okay, I am gonna give it a few minutes to chill at this, not actually chill, to rest at this size, and then I'm gonna see if I can get it a bit bigger than this. By almost 10. So we got a 10-inch pizza here. Okay, I made too many. Oh well, I think I could fit one more. This is gonna go in the oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. And then I'm going to, when this is a little bit firmer on the bottom, slide it off and put it directly on the tray, the oven tray, increase the temperature to 475 and cook it for another 6 to 10 minutes. All right, well, I think this came out really cool looking. The spiders lost some of their spideriness, but the skulls look very, very cool. Maybe I'll try something different next Halloween. But I did want to say this is incredibly high in protein and fiber. So if you are not used to already eating a high protein, high fiber diet, maybe just have a little piece of this. But if you are used to it, half of this pizza, which is a decent sized pizza, it's a 10-inch pizza, half of this pizza is, I had to write it down, 358 calories, 46 grams of carbs, 25 of which are fiber, 42 grams of protein, and just about 15 grams of fat. And that includes all the toppings I have on here today. So if you just wanted to know the macros of the crust, the entire crust without anything on it is 520 calories, 13 grams of fat, 68 grams of carbs, of which 51 are fiber, yowza, and 84 grams of protein. That is insane. But the real question is, does it actually taste good? So, you know we gotta bring Giacomo in for this one. You know it. So I'm gonna cut this up and call him down. Giacomo, come taste this. Yeah, which one do you want?
The biggest piece, every single time, that one right there.
Yeah.
That's the big piece.
Okay. Wait, can you tell what they are on it?
Well, we got spooky skeleton mushrooms. We got creepy crawling spiders.
Okay, you can still tell they're spiders. That's all
yeah.
I cared about.
And the way the mushroom was toasted, it makes the skeletons look even more morbid and
didn't toast the mushrooms.
Looking. I like it.
Didn't toast the mushrooms,
Well,
just
whatever
cooked
you
it.
did with them, they look good.
All right, ready? It's a totally different kind of crust. Do not gorge yourself on this because it is a ton of fiber and protein.
I might.
Yeah.
Good temperature,
Wow.
I didn't burn the roof of my mouth. Nice. Now, you gotta fold this New York style, Dan. Let me show you how to eat pizza. This is how you eat a pizza. You fold it. If you're not folding a pizza, what are you even doing with your life?
No microphone. So this is my first time ever making this crust, and I didn't really know what to expect. What do you think of it?
It's good. You can tell that it has a little bit of more fiber in it, like more than you normally would after you take a couple bites, but it's not very noticeable.
But I like it. It's not like chewy, like the super gluten one we made before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got some texture to it. You can bite right through it.
And it's, it's sturdy also. I don't know. I think it's
up pretty nice.
Yeah. I'm pretty happy with this. And it's spooky.
Yeah.
Oh, he's wearing his spooky shirt too. This is also from Compassion Co. Can't say enough good things about Compassion Co, where vegan things and Halloween things meet. Anyway, I hope you guys give this a shot. Check out Mary's Test Kitchen. Not a vegan site, but like if you want to learn some interesting things about cooking, that's the place to go. If you give this a shot, let me know, and absolutely 100% have a happy Halloween. Bye.